Yep,
It's live.
I just wanted to switch this over from our transitions.
Good morning, Derek.
You're on mute.
You're on mute right
Oh, good morning.
Okay. Call order the EDC meeting, August 26th meeting. So, motion to accept the
Stream works, that
meeting
prioritizes the
minutes you
video,
asked.
but it won't work.
Need a second?
Second.
Okay.
First approval.
Kate. Yes. Move on to resolution authorizing brownfield, county regional land bank. Resolution of 42, 46, 47, 68.
Great. Well, I just first want to introduce two people. We have Kaylee here Kaylee Quinn from the Wayne County Land Bank. She'll be talking about the projects today. And then we also have Derek Street. He is with our qualified environmental professional, Montrose Engineering, and he is really the RLF expert. He used to work for EPA. He wrote the FAQs on the RLF. And so he's a really good resource to ask questions about the EPA program, as well as this project here. Now, one thing about our qualified environmental professional, they are with the Wayne Economic Development Corporation, Wayne County with their assessment funding, as well as the land bank. So they also will be providing multiple roles here. But again, he does have a lot of RLF experience, so if you have questions about that, he'll be a great resource for us.
So Derek, thank you for coming this morning.
Kaylee, would you like to sort of give an introduction about the project?
Sure.
I did create a map in regards to the Canal Street properties, identifying the applications we have, so if you wanna take a look at that in your folder.
And would you mind pulling that up too? That might just give people a good reference for it.
So Kaylee, if you wanna introduce these first two applications.
Sure, thank you. Yeah, so this redevelopment project on Canal Street and the surrounding area of Lyons and Route 14 has been in the works, in the planning stages, in the funding sourcing stages for several years now, in coordination with the Town of Lyons comprehensive plan development and also implementation. The Town of Lyons with the land bank identified this target area in the town of Lyons, which is contains several blighted, dilapidated, condemned buildings that have plagued the area for decades in some cases. And so the basis of the project is to go in and remove these blighted properties, and then come in after kind of in a second phase approach and redevelop the properties into new mixed use construction. So commercial first floor, residential on the upper floors. And so we're approaching it in these two different phases, one being the removal of the buildings, which is the basis of these two applications. We have several funding sources that we're layering to accomplish this. One being the land bank was awarded a EPA multi-purpose grant, which is specifically for this target area in Lyons. We've also been coordinating with the county, utilizing their EPA assessment grant to conduct phase one, phase two, regulated building materials surveys in this target area as well. So we've been utilizing that, which has been crucial to the project as well. We also have Land Bank Initiative Funding is the name of the program, which is through New York State Homes and Community Renewal. So we're also tapping into that as well, which is specifically for New York State land banks. So all three of those sources are contributing to the demolitions here today. And then we also, have our request in for the EPA revolving loan fund to help us kind of close the gap in our financing structure, and then also aid us in our cash flow, as it's an over $1 million development project for the demolition stage, which you'll see in the budgets when we get to those. I'm sure we'll be going over the budgets, right? Yeah, so, what you'll see here are, the map also includes like 24 Church Street, which is kind of an outlier. It's right next to the courthouse. That is actually a restoration project, and that is not included in our RLF request today, but it is part of the overall redevelopment as well. So it does include both demolition of blighted buildings, but also restoration and redevelopment of 2 historic properties in the Lyons Downtown Historic District as well. So as you see 42 and 46 Canal in yellow, that site or that work area, as we're calling them as well, those parcels will be combined once the buildings are demolished, and that whole corner will actually be redeveloped into one cohesive mixed-use building. The vacant space on the end is actually where an attached row building had collapsed prior in the past couple of years. So we do have that vacant parcel as well. So it'll actually be that whole corner that'll be involved in the redevelopment. Moving across the street to the east, you'll see in red 52 to 54 Canal Street. That's the historic gas station here in Lyons, if you're familiar with that. That'll be restored and redeveloped. And then moving again east, you have 58 to 66 Canal Street. That's in red because that is fully funded by our multi-purpose grant, so that's not part of our ask today. I think Katie outlined it, the yellow and blue properties are part of our 2 applications.
Yes.
And then continuing over 78 Canal Street, 80 and 88 Canal Street, those are all being demolished as well to allow for, again, a cohesive, larger structure to span the footprint of those combined parcels. They're split into 2 applications. We thought that was just a more organized approach based on activity. 78 and 88 Canal Street in blue, our RLF request is for abatement only, as the RLF can only contribute to cleanup activities and remediation. And then our state funding is actually gonna come in and complete the demolitions after abatement is finished on those 2 properties in blue. And then the yellow properties are condemned by the town of Lyons. They had structural assessments completed, which basically revealed that there's no other feasible alternative to demolition for those properties, unfortunately. And those are gonna be controlled demolitions, which will be with asbestos and everything in place because it's unsafe for workers to be in them to abate them prior to demo. So it's a little bit of a different demolition approach, but that's why we split them into 2 different applications. Any questions where we're at?
Most of the contamination's asbestos, or probably the gas station's related to the fuel tanks as well.
So, yes, to your first question, it's mostly asbestos. There's some lead too, but mostly asbestos. And the gas station was actually already remediated, tanks were removed. And we additionally did a phase 2 there, which removed the lifts that were in there. So the remediation, other than asbestos and lead, at the gas station is already complete.
What's the timeline?
It's just about any time now. So we have bids. We completed a bidding process for the project. We have a bid. We have awarded a contractor. It's Contento's Demolition out of Portland area, and they're ready to go. As soon as we can get all of our paperwork and all of our sources lined up. This fall, they're ready to go as early as a couple of weeks in September, as long as I get all of our grant paperwork finalized. Definitely buildings down by the end of this year. And then depending on when they come down, getting into the winter, there may be some additional site restoration, seeding and grading that takes place in the spring. But definitely completed fully by spring, including grading and seeding. Yeah. And then for
And
the
that's where it's gonna stop, just the grading and seeding, or are you gonna also do the rebuild?
Yep, good question. So it's gonna remain just seeded grassy lots for the time being, but we do have a redevelopment plan which includes the town of Lyons was awarded a Restore New York grant through Empire State Development of $6.6 million, a very substantial grant. And they've also, in coordination with the land bank, been applying for additional funding toward their project. But we have an RFP just about ready to hit the street to select a preferred developer to come develop the project. And we have a substantial amount of funding to come to the table to entice a developer to come build the project. And then additionally, the Town of Lyons also was awarded, it's called the Northern Borders Regional Commission Grant, which is federal, for infrastructure in and around the project area. So that's water and sewer upgrades, valve replacement, streetscaping in some areas, and some road reconstruction. So between all those sources, with the new construction funding and the infrastructure funding, we're coming in between 10 and 12 million. Yep. We estimate the total project, including demolitions and including new construction, will fall between 20 and 25. Really how much we're able to stack now, between now and when we contract with a developer will determine, I think, the scale of what we can do down there. The land bank does also own additional parcels adjacent to the project area that could be combined into this phase of development or a next phase of development, just kind of at the ready, strategic properties to expand that development. But due to current funding sources and restoring NORC requirements, these are the target properties that we're working on right now.
Any other questions?
So just to reiterate some of the things that Kaylee mentioned when she talked about the project and the budget. So up on the upper part of the screen is the budget for the first three properties, which is 42, 46, 67, and 68. And then the bottom sort of little table there is talking about the sources of funding. So they have asked for $862,750 for the remediation work of these first three properties, and asked for what is called a discount loan. What a discount loan is a 50% forgivable loan and 50% payback loan. The Wayne County Land Bank would use their New York State HCR initiative funding to pay back that 50% of the loan, which would be $431,375. Now this is just for application 1. And so this would be for application 1. I'll go to application 2 to show the same thing of the other two properties, the ones that are abatements, 78 and 88, just so you can see that amount as well. And they have asked for $152,000, $125,000 for the remediation of these two properties, and again, this would be a discounted loan, where 50% would be forgiven and 50% would be paid back through the New York State initiative. Now, this is a total of $1,015,000. For our EPA project, we do have $1.2 million. So this falls within our budget. We do have some additional funds to do one more loan. It would obviously be a smaller loan on a project, but there may be other projects that are coming up soon. That being said, this is a good sort of stage for us to be in, because come the spring, there may be an opportunity to apply for supplemental EPA RLF funding. So this is a really good sort of first step. If we can show progress, if we can show payback, if we can show some revolving of this program, then we can apply for additional funds in the spring. So that is one of the strategies of doing these first two applications and utilizing a good portion of our funds from EPA. We did have a loan review committee meeting, and that was on August 21st. The loan review committee did approve both of these applications, and what their recommendations are is to have it at a 0% interest rate, because they are a nonprofit, that they won't start payments until December 1st, This would allow them some time to sort of get the work started and start doing the reimbursement process. The other recommendation is also to get it approved by EPA, which is one of our steps that we'll have to take. EPA will have to approve this project and how we disperse the funds as well, because there's multiple ways we can disperse the funds, and we're working with EPA right now on how we can do that. Our approach is to have it all dispersed upfront at the beginning. And then we'll also, I'm sorry,
Does EPA have to approve that before work commences?
yes, they do, yep. And then one other thing is that we would put a lien on the 5 properties.
Any other questions for Lee or?
Just on the smaller one, so it's just remediation at this point. Is there going to be demolition of those, or are they just gonna redo the properties that are already there?
It's remediation and demolition.
Okay,
It's
so
just that
it's just
they
the
are
order.
safe enough structures to abate,
Got
they're not condemned, so that's why we have to take that
First, yeah,
the different approach, yeah. So we're just asking for abatement from the RLF, but then we do have state funding that's gonna come in and do the demolition. It is part of this contract with the contractor we've selected to do all of it. They're doing remediations and demolitions for us, so it is part of the scope of work, and we'll have them separate that out by activity, by property, and separate invoices to keep everything clean and organized for the different grants involved.
thank you, okay.
Are we okay to go ahead with motions on this?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, we'll start with the first one, 42, 46, 67, and 68.
It should be 69, sorry.
Should be 69?
Yes, the agenda just has it wrong.
Okay.
Yep.
So 67 through 69. 67 and 69.
Yes, yeah, they're sort of combined into one property.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Okay.
Let's move on to 78 and 88. Motion,
Make a motion.
A second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Those look-
Get it
Well,
done.
thank you very much.
I can't wait to see it,
We've
I'm
been working,
excited.
Kaylee's been working
No,
on
and it's
this.
gonna look really nice
Many
up
years.
there. I mean, I drive by there
Great
every
project.
day.
Yeah.
And it's right by the school, so.
Right,
It's-
and
yeah.
the school has a
excited
capital
about-
project going on at the same time.
So it's gonna, it's
So
gonna
that
be
whole
nice.
area is gonna,
Yeah.
I mean, really
Good for the
transformative.
kiddos,
Yeah,
it's good for.
trying to make it like a more walkable,
Yeah.
connected, you know,
Well, and
safe
that's the thing, I
area.
see kids, lots of kids walking
Yeah.
through there and
Yeah,
stuff,
right
so-
now it's, I've been combating graffiti on the buildings. You know, obviously they're a hazard, just in their condition, but also, crime and vandalism and trespassing and all that stuff, so really, it's an exciting project, and the partnership from the town, from the town and from the county in many ways has really been the catalyst for this project as well. So, and it's exciting to see a lot of investment and a lot of buy-in, from these agencies to upstate, to Wayne County.
Especially in the counties, yeah.
Especially in the county seat, but also in Wayne County, so that's exciting. But
Good.
we'll keep
Great.
everybody
Thanks,
updated.
Joe.
Thank you very much.
Jay.
Okay. Alright, we'll move on to resolution authorizing Fifth Amendment to the lease agreement.
We've been working on this for a little while, I think everybody's kind of up to speed, but Kim, if you're not familiar, the Wayne Economic Development Corporation owns the BOCES facilities in Newark. Leases them under a previous lease agreement that lasted, I think, 15 years, and went through a bunch of iterations. We went back to the drawing board effectively with BOCES, worked through a new lease agreement. This is an amendment, so it's not a completely new lease. The amendment has to do with BOCES and other local school districts and Department of Education, but terms we worked through were, given where we fall in the calendar year, we decided to do a 9-year lease, $9 million total, $1 million a year, $100,000 kept by the EDC. Previous lease agreement was less round numbers, keeping about $90,000, just under $90,000 a year. We're getting a little more in lease revenue that we're keeping. But this puts BOCES in a position where they can continue to effectively create a piggy bank for capital improvement projects to the facility. So that's where we're.
Any questions? Motion to approve? Second?
Second.
All in favor? Okay. Now we need, resolution authorizing new assistant treasurer and fiscal officer.
I'm not sure everyone had a chance to meet Chris.
Yes.
But, okay, great.
Welcome, Chris.
Thank you.
Any questions, or we'll just go ahead with the motion?
Chris, you wanna give everybody the 10-peso version of your background here?
For the last 15 years, I owned a business in Henrietta, New York, and I had two up in Buffalo, New York for a while as well. Sold that back in May, stuck around for 3 months to help the new owner transition, and not the type of guy that just wants to sit home and do nothing at this stage yet. So this opportunity came up and I jumped on it, and what I enjoy doing is doing accounting and budgeting, interacting with people, but I'm tired of being the guy that's in charge. So I'm perfectly happy to be the guy in the back room, so to speak. Prior to that, I was in manufacturing, concrete products. Did that for about 15 years up and down the East Coast. I was a territory president from Maine down through Pennsylvania, excluding New York City. Started out as a general manager of a local plant here, sales prior to that, and then I was in banking for a while before that, underwriting commercial loans for M&T Bank, right out of grad school. So that was a few years ago. So when I saw this opportunity come up, they came up once and I ignored it because I wasn't ready yet, and then I saw it again and I was like, all right, I'm gonna throw my hat in it. It worked out.
Great.
Didn't know I was walking into pilot season.
Right.
It's certainly not taking it easy, I'll put it that way.
Yeah, so let's vote it in before you change it.
Yeah, right, yeah. Day 17, so you better hurry.
Okay, can I have a motion to, the resolution to authorize a new assistant treasurer and fiscal officer?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Move on to the next one.
Thank you.
Resolution authorizing for fiscal officer authorization to interface on behalf of Wayne County Economic Development Corporation with all banks where the agency has accounts.
Make the motion. I'll second.
All in favor? Move on to the credit card. Resolution authorizing agency credit card for fiscal officer.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? That's how you do your fiscal officer.
Yeah, right? So this is a snapshot as of 7/31 of the bank accounts that are under the Economic Development Corporation. Overall, the bank accounts are up by 7.8% over June, and primarily due to, there's a BOCES check for $200,000 that went in at that point in time, which is a prepaid rent at this point in time, and there was a $25,000, I don't know if I'm gonna call it bad debt, but a loan that we didn't expect to get paid back on, and we actually got paid back on, so you're gonna see that in other income on the financial statement. If there's any questions, jump in. I just look at the stuff that jumps out at me, and I figured, people would wanna see that, but if you want anything more in depth, to the best of my knowledge, I will do. If not, I will look into and get back to you. Yeah, there's nothing, I guess on the financials.
Yeah, those are the two
Loading.
major points.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's that.
You technically weren't here there either, so
Okay,
you're good.
and then this is a loan aging balance. 75% when I was in high school would be a good grade, but on this it's not. We've got about a 25% non-conforming loan at this point in time, 2 of them related to K2. Just want everybody to be aware of that. Everybody else is paying as agreed.
Yeah, and just to let you know, so in the past few months, we have a new software that we use. It used to be Public Loan Office, now it's the Mortgage Office. Same company, they just upgraded it a little bit. So we're gonna be working on creating some different sort of reports from there, because there's some really great resources from the update that they did. And this is just one example of them that we'll be guys that serve an update when it comes to the mortgage office.
Any questions?
Well, let's move on with the project update.
Well, and I guess just all the pilots went out, right?
Yes, all the pilots went out yesterday.
Yes.
So now we just have to do the counties and the towns and school boards and villages.
Part of our process, really IDA business, but
Oh,
part of our process is not only just issuing bills on behalf of taxing jurisdictions, collecting funds issued, and give everybody, all the taxing jurisdictions, including the county, get an overview of all the ongoing pilot business, summary of anticipated revenue, and some notes on expiring pilots and where there's changes. So Chris is working through that stuff now, we've got the billing done, we'll get those out this week, early next week. Doing a great job.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks.
Happy to have.
I was out for a couple weeks in August. Katie and I went to Chicago for a national brownfield conference. I did also take a week of vacation, but brownfield conference was good. I think it was Katie and I spent our time mainly focused on sessions related to the RLF, making sure that we're doing things the right way, if you will, or learning lessons from folks. So it's always interesting, I'll say, getting the national conferences and seeing how people are doing similar things, but very different approaches in different parts of the country, like Montana, just different, very different scenarios, but similar issues, if you will. One of the things, the only real update here I have, and you guys probably saw this, was our continued issues with power distribution in the region, if not all over the state. There was an article about a 680 unit housing project in Canandaigua that is stalled due to NYSEG RGD's lack of ability to deliver power they need, just for apartments. So what that tells me, and I think we've been seeing this for the last several years now, but the ability not to deliver power for a housing project illustrates, if we were successful in landing an attraction project, delivering power, that would be even more difficult. So lots of discussions at the state, county level, even multiple counties. The region, this 9-county region has been pretty instrumental in driving Fast New York funding, which is shovel-ready site stuff. We'll see where it goes on the utility side. There's a state in the budget this year, there's, I think it's called Power or Power Up, I don't remember the name. That is intended to help subsidize the cost of utility infrastructure demand needs to help accommodate economic development projects. We'll see where that goes. You know, it's in the budget, haven't seen a design or anything, or an RFP or anything like that, but we'll see. For special meetings, generally, I don't wanna ignore our loan agent report, but I think we're required to publish notice to the public on executive sessions, is that what I'm saying this week? Can we go into executive session?
Yeah, I mean, you can go into executive.
If you guys would like
If there's
to.
a- not, you know,
Probably best if we do, but I know we're limited on time today. Things are in motion with actions related to our loan fund customers. No action required by the board now, but having discussions with several attorneys, one representing the Economic Development Corp, one representing the IDA, and our approach on defaults. And what's our best approach related to the potential of recovery funds? I'll leave it there. If you'd like to go into executive.
Yes, anyone wanna go into exec, or is that good enough for now?
It works for me.
Yeah, from a time perspective, yeah, it's good for,
Well, and
right,
as long as something's happening with it.
Yeah.
Things are,
exactly.
we're
Moving forward. Yeah.
taking steps, evaluating things, and when I have a more concrete approach, I'll bring you guys up a recommendation.
Yeah.
It's fine.
That's fine.
Okay, yes.
Okay, this is no other business, our next meeting is September 23rd. So I'd like a motion to adjourn.
So, second. Yes.
Call to order the IDA meeting. I'd like a motion to approve the July 22nd, 2025 minutes. All in favor? So that's a resolution authorizing designation of WCIDA as lead agency for seeker for owned property acquisition.
The next two resolutions are related, both covering seeker, so we've been discussing over the last several years probably. Transfer of the Ontario Midland Railroad assets and property from the county to the IDA. Transfer of property triggers seeker review. We took the lead on this on behalf of the county and the IDA. So the first resolution is designating the IDA lead agency, and the second resolution is our determination of said property transfer. Pretty straightforward. Any questions on this?
Do a motion to approve the first resolution authorizing designating the WCIDA as the lead agency. All in favor? Second resolution, approving the determination, which I believe that was a negative.
Type two.
Thank you.
Or, yes.
I'll make a motion.
You, Betsy?
A second.
Okay, all in favor? That takes care of those two. Now, welcome Chris back again, and resolution authorizing new assistant treasurer and fiscal officer. Motion.
I'll second.
Yes, it was type one, I only get the secret stuff confused. Okay.
All in favor of assistant treasurer and fiscal officer?
Aye.
The resolution authorizing Chris to interface with the banks, anyone before? All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution authorizing Chris for agency credit card.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor? Now down to the fiscal officer report.
So again, the accounts from last quarter are up 6.4%. The only thing I'll draw your attention to is the last CD, Lions National Bank CD 1490. That matures on 9/30. So at the next meeting, I will have updates because the Fed meets on the 16th and 17th. So I'm anticipating it'll be a little bit lower than what we're getting as a rate right now, but that remains to be seen. So I'll have some options to present to the board at that meeting.
Yeah, I guess the only other thing we would mention, and again, this happened before Chris came, we did close on the Harbor Point Macedon, sales tax abatement, so that was included in the July.
Any questions on fiscal reports? Anything else, Frank?
No.
No other business, next meeting will be on September 23rd. Motion to adjourn,
So moved.
all in favor, we're adjourned.
Appreciate everyone taking the time for a special meeting. Getting through the plan, thank you.